Hello, everybody. I'm so glad to be here. It has been quite some time, maybe a couple of months. There have been sicknesses in the house, and now we are getting there. Hopefully, we don't have anything else in the next long time. But I'm so happy to be here and recording a new episode for you. If this is the first time that you're here, my name is Yessy. I am the maker and the knitwear designer behind Jessy's Designs. So, this is my knitting podcast where I share with you my works in progress, finished pieces, the patterns that are going to be released, or the pants that were just released, and everything that has to do with the knitting, with arts, with crafts. If you have been here before, I'm so glad that you're here, and I hope that you enjoy this new episode. Now, this episode is going to be a little different because for the longest time, I have been promising to you to share part two of our trip to Colombia. Now, again, if this is the first time that you're here, my background, I was born and I was raised in Colombia. And last summer, my family and I got to go again after about 4 years. So I was sharing with you, I already shared part one of our trip. And on this episode, you are going to see part two when we went to Santa Marta, Rodadero, and Barranquilla. Now, I'm not gonna share too much about Yarny projects. This episode is just gonna be about part two of our trip. But I just wanted to say thank you for the warm welcome that you have been giving to the Jeronimo Beanie. This is the last pattern that I released, so I'm gonna put a few pictures in here about the Jeronimo Beanie. Jeronimo is named after my second nephew, the cutest thing ever. And I shared a blog post about the inspiration behind the piece, the specific things like yarn, for example. I work with this yarn over here. This is UDON from Hobbii. So I made this pattern in collaboration with Hobbii. They gifted me the yarn, and this is one of their new yarns. Now I have four more balls of this yarn, and I am hoping to make the Jeronimo cowl. I just have to finish with a few projects that I have to give to a few yarn companies. So when I finish with the other responsibilities, this is the project that I would like to work on with this yarn. And I know that this is going to be one of the yarns that I'm going to be using the most for my markets. It's super soft, it's very luxurious, and the colors are so rich. I think that's one of the things that I like about Hobbii. A lot of their yarns, or the yarns that I have used from them, their colors are so deep and rich. So you're gonna see a lot of Hobbii projects made this year because every time that I get to work on a collaboration with them, I just fall in love with the yarns. And soon you're gonna see a couple yarns that I'm using for two different projects, and I am already in love of these pieces. So I hope that you like them as well. So let's go to part two of our trip to Colombia. If you like this episode, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss any future podcasts. I hope that you enjoy it. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna be talking, but the what you're gonna see the most is either pictures or videos about our trip. So I know that many have not had the opportunity to go to Colombia, and I am just so happy to share with you a little from it so you can have an idea of what it is like, or at least what it's like for me. The places that I enjoy, the places that now I look forward to take my own family, because obviously my children are not having kind of the same childhood that I had. So I'm very happy to go to Colombia all the times that we have been able to and try to show them what it was like for me when I was growing up. And I hope that they they love it. I hope that when they get older and it's their time to travel by themselves or with their own families, they look back and they would like to take either themselves or their families there. So I try to do my best as to take them to every place that I can when we are there. So the two places that you're gonna see, no, the three places that you're gonna see on this episode are Barranquilla. This is the city where I am from. Um, Santa Marta and Rodadero. Now, when we go, this is a second home that we have, that my family has, away from the city. And we always look forward to go there. It was our chance to decompress, to have that sense of calm because our home is right in front of the beach. So you open the curtains in your bedrooms or when you go to the balcony, and the first thing that you see is the beach right in front of you. So we have beautiful views of the sunrises, of the sunsets, and it's just one beach. So you have mostly it's hotels. There are maybe two or three places that are residential. So it's not packed usually. There is not usually a lot of people. There are many seasons where it feels like it's just us in there, which is very nice to go to a beach and just kind of enjoy it by yourself. So we did a lot of that. We did a lot of swimming and just being at the beach and trying to relax and all of that. Now, not too much kneading happened. One of the reasons it's because it was always so hot. I don't usually bring my kneading to the sand. I don't like it. I don't like to be knitting when there is so much wind and sand and everything gets just messy. And so when I knit, it was on the hammock in the balcony. Over there, I can enjoy it, but not in the ocean. I did a little bit by the pool one day, but again, it was just too hot, so I didn't do much. What I did mostly was taking pictures. I brought the Esteban cowl, and I took pictures when we were there in Colombia. I was working there on a new project, a Milagro sweater for adults. I'm still not done with it. Some projects got in the way, so again, I have to finish this before I go back and continue with this pattern. So I was working on the Milagro sweater for adults when we were there, and that's it. Now, one of the things that we always look forward to see the most were again the sunset. So you're gonna see some sunset pictures or videos in here. There was especially this golden sunset that left us in awe. So we were by the beach, we sat down, we went out of the apartment and we sat down on a log on the sand and we just took all the beauty in, and it was just beautiful. We also went to the river walk in Santa Marta. It's also called Malecon. So Santa Marta is a city, and then you have the river walk, and it was just very nice. They have shops, they have restaurants. We just walked in there. This was a especially hot day, so we didn't stay too long in there. We also went in Santa Marta to the Museum of Simon Bolivar, and it was his home. So his home was turned into a museum, and it was a very nice architecture. I'm sure that when the place was in all of its glory, it must have been absolutely beautiful because everything was built around gardens. There is a pond in there with a small bridge. that was really nice. And it was very interesting because it's not like a home and you go in and you have the bedrooms, the kitchen, everything is built individually. So they had, for example, the place where they work on the sugar canes. They had other places where they work on some other things, but the house itself, you would go to a bedroom and then you had to keep going on a hallway on the outside. And then you keep walking and maybe you saw the kitchen, you saw the bakery, you saw the dining room. The only place where you would walk in and it gave you like that sense of this is a home, it's his bedroom. Then there was like a sitting area, and I think there was something else like an office. I think that's where he held his meetings. But everything else was surrounded by gardens, and the gardens were beautiful. So there are some pictures that you're seeing in here. In Rodadero, we also met Anna. If you have been following me on Instagram, for example, I shared about Anna when we were there. So much that, well, let me tell you first. Anna, we met her this one day walking on the beach where we have our home. And we saw this lady sitting with a lot of Wayu bags. I stopped my walk right there. My husband kept walking for a little bit and I stayed talking to Anna. I took a few videos and pictures, and we were just talking because there was no people coming to her at that time. It was very early this one morning, so we got to talk about her art and how she makes her bags and the color inspiration. I just went and I saw everything that she had on display on the sand in there. So we got to see Anna quite a few other times because I bought a few pieces from her for myself, for gifts. And I knew that some of you were going to love her work as well. So I reached out and I said, I'm going to show you what she has. If there is anything that you like, obviously it was to support her. I think after we know the story of somebody, how hard they work or what their art means for them. She's the only breadwinner in her home, and she sent her daughter to nurse school just by making and selling the bags. It makes you want to help when you know how much something means to somebody. So a few of you reached out and some of you got bags. I was very happy to report to Anna. They are like in this one. There is somebody that wants this one. And do you have another one in this one? Do you have something in these colors? Somebody would like something in these colors. And we got to meet a few days when we were there. She would go to our tent and have a little break from the sun. So if you see her in the pictures, she's absolutely covered. This is not usually how the Wayus dress. This is not like the typical outfits that they wear, but they try to protect themselves from the sun. And they are walking the whole day on the beach. And the sun is so fierce that they have to try to do their best not to get sunburn or things like that. So it looks like sunscreen is not enough when you are walking so much. So that was quite a shock to see because it was so hot. And we were just with a bathing suit. I cannot even imagine how it was like for them to be wearing these the whole day. So I was happy when she could sit down and I could go with her. Over her with your messages when some of you were asking for specific colors or sizes, or I would like this with beads or with no beads, and she was so touched. She was very touched. I could also show her. I was showing her my Instagram, and I was showing her the Fair Isle pieces that I have designed that are inspired by Colombia, that are inspired by them because obviously their art, they use a lot of hair oil. It's mostly crochet, it's not knitting, it's crochet. But you see all this color work all around you the whole time. So I was showing her the pieces that I have designed inspired by them. And, she had all these questions. She was so happy. She was so touched. And we are still in touch. So that has been a highlight from our trip, to be able to show her that their art has inspired me to now release my own patterns, showing people some of the things that I have enjoyed growing up. We got to talk a lot about it, the inspiration behind the pieces, and we still do that. So the next time that I go there, I am gonna make sure to, if we have enough internet connection, because we didn't have it at the beach. I couldn't do a live with her. I could do just stories, but I'm gonna try to do a live, or just to continue to sharing the stories, the word that she has the next time that I go. So we also went to Rodadero. Rodadero is another beach close to where we were, and we went to the aquarium. The aquarium, it's in the ocean, so we had to go on a speedboat to the aquarium, and they don't have many sea life in there, but the ones that they have, they are from there, from the area. So we had dolphins, and they are not in pools, as you can see here. The water is the ocean. They build the aquarium in a way that these animals wouldn't suffer much, and they could continue to be in the water, that the kind of water that they know. So you had sea turtles, dolphins, and other animals. We went to the tunnel underwater. That was a great experience. We have not been in a tunnel like this before, so it was quite something. Now you're gonna see views of the views of Rodadero. This is when we are leaving in the speedboat to go back, and there is one beach that we are passing there. It's called Playa Blanca. Playa Blanca means white sand. And this is one of the beaches that we loved so much growing up, because the sand was white and the water was so blue. It was very deep, so it was one of those places where our parents were always like, "Be careful, stay on the shore," and they couldn't take their eyes off of us. That it was such a beautiful beach, so I was looking forward to take my kids in there, but the place was just so packed that there was we just decided to go back. There was no way that we could be there and really enjoy. It was just full of people. So maybe next time we get to go there. Then after a few days, no, after what, like 2 weeks? Now I forgot. It's like almost 3 weeks maybe. We went back to Barranquilla. It's getting close to the time of coming back home. So we went to Barranquilla, and we spent so much more time with our nephews, with my brother, my sister-in-law, some friends, a few other relatives, and we went to the Malecón in Barranquilla. So Barranquilla is also on the coast of Colombia, and we have the Magdalena River. So along the Magdalena River, inspired by my Magdalena Beanie is inspired by the Magdalena River. By the Magdalena River, they built the river walk, or the Malecón. I think that was built like maybe right before COVID, during COVID. I forgot, but it's new. It's beautiful. It's filled with color, exactly what you would expect if you go. Like if you go to this area in Colombia, you expect a lot of colors, so much fun. It was just beautiful. So you have long areas where it's just walking. So the families, they bring, for example, the bicycles, so the kids can ride their bicycles, or the scooter. There is like a little water playground, not like a water park. It's like a water playground. So you have like water coming out, and the kids can just refresh themselves in there. There are restaurants. There is live music, a ton of lights. They even have, and I think, I forgot if I have that video. They have like a boat, and it's like a party on the boat on the Magdalena River. So you have typical music or salsa, merengue, whatever the case is, but it's full of lights and people in that boat, they are just dancing and dancing along the river. And that was it. That was the last, those were the last moments that we enjoyed with my family. And then it was time to come back. And now you're going to see some videos when we arrive in New York. So New York is always beautiful in the night, I think. So it was quite a view when we were coming back. Now, that's it. That's it from everything that I wanted to share with you from part two of Colombia. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that this gives you a little bit more of an idea. I don't know, maybe about who am I as a designer. I love color. I can like neutrals a lot. There is that elegance that neutrals can give you. The blacks and beiges that reminds me of the sombrero volteado from Colombia, for example, the colors that I use in the Esteban cowl. And you're going to see those colors in two projects that are going to be coming in the first half of the year to my website. These colors remind me of that. And just colors, just all the colors together. I love to use everything. I love to have fun with my work. I love to show who I am through my work, and Colombia, it's a big inspiration for the patterns that I decide to work on, or for the colors that I decide to use from patterns from other designers. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode. The next episode is gonna be most likely just about yarn. So, kind of a regular episode, works in progress, finished pieces, what is new, and things like that. So, if you want to stay tuned to what is happening, you can feel free to follow me on Instagram. It's at Jessy's Designs. You can also subscribe to my newsletter. I'm going to put all the links in the description. That's how I'm starting to do my tester calls. Now, the last tester call, which was for the Jeronimo Beanie, I did it through the newsletter, but I was directing you to my Ravelry group. This is the first time that I use Ravelry for this. And I'm not too much familiar with Ravelry, to be honest. I look for patterns in there. I have my patterns in there as well. I have a project page that I am going to try to work on more, because I have seen that a lot of you like to see more details about the finished pieces or whatever we are working on in there, like more details. So I'm going to try to give a little bit more care to my Ravelry this year and start to get maybe more familiar with some of the features that they have. So subscribe to my newsletter. That's how you are also going to be the first one to know about pattern releases. You're going to get special coupon codes. You're going to have special things happening just for newsletter subscribers. So you're going to be a little bit more pampered and be the first one to know about everything that is taking place. I'm also on Threads, and I started with a TikTok not too long ago. No dancing or nothing like that, but because that's not, oh my, that's not me that much. So it might be a little boring, but I have a TikTok as well that I'm trying to have fun with as well. It's a different way to showcase your work, and I find that also kind of refreshing a lot of the times. So I will see you next time. Thank you for being here. I hope that you are staying good and healthy and cozy, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Thank you for being here. Happy making and happy knitting.